Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. In this video, we'll be discussing assessing the qualitative factors. Stock analysis is a subject that encompasses a broad array of considerations. Most of the attention is put on studying ratios, predicting cash flows, and other math-centric considerations. In this video, we're going to turn our focus to the subjective factors that play a role in assessing existing and potential stock investments. These two are important and worthy of your attention and analysis. Probably the number one factor in making a company successful and worthy of your investment is its management. This is the group of individuals that make the strategic decisions that distinguishes great companies over time. Begin your subjective assessment by learning the names and backgrounds of the key members of the management team. The board of directors supervises a company. They represent the shareholders and their interests. The board monitors the actions of management and the company's progress and financial health. The board does not actively manage the company on a day-to-day basis. That's the job of the top-level employees and the employees' management. To assess the management, begin with their names and their backgrounds. You can find the names of top executives online or in documents such as the company's annual report. You want to learn who the chief executive officer is, that's the CEO, the chief operating officer, the COO, or the president. Most companies will not have a CEO and a COO and a president. They may have two of these titles or sometimes only a CEO, but that is a rare exception in some smaller companies. Next, look up to the Chief Financial Officer, that's the CFO, the Chief Marketing Officer, the CMO, and the Chief Information Officer, that's the CIO. You may also find the names of division officers if a company is a large company with multiple business entities or divisions. Amplify your research to uncover the education and business backgrounds of these top managers. You want to know if their backgrounds seem suitable to the responsibilities they hold in this company. Have they had experiences in the industry previously? What has been their success record? What you want to see is a team of experienced winners. You want your money invested with people that know the industry and have demonstrated expertise and skill in jobs that prepare them well for their current responsibilities. You cannot get to know these people personally, but you can make common sense assessments about the suitability of their backgrounds relative to the jobs they now hold. The next thing you want to get is some insight into the management's philosophy. In other words, how do they intend to manage the company? There is no one right or wrong answer that you're looking for. You're just looking for reassurance about the managers and work environment they are creating inside the company. You may find some press articles on certain executives or company press releases issued at the time the executives were recruited or promoted to their current position. You definitely want to read the annual report. We'll have a letter from the CEO plus a management and discussion and analysis section. This will give you some insight into the management's philosophy of the company and their priorities for company growth initiatives. As you read it, ponder what it says. Does it seem to make sense for the company and industry? Does it reflect a thoughtful and innovative exploration of new ideas and honest insight into threats facing the company as well as its strengths and opportunities? How long has this management team been in place? How have they done? How have they reshaped the company and coped with challenges? All these things give you insight to assess the skill for future challenges. Sometimes you'll see some or all the team has extensive experience with the company and have continued to innovate for success. Jack Welch is an example of a long-time successful leader. He was CEO of General Electric for over 20 years. During that tenure, he overhauled the company's management and business focus, streamlined the operations, and grew the value of GE from $14 billion to over $410 billion, an average annual growth of 18%. How's that for a track record? If a company is struggling, the board or top management will clean house. You've probably heard the term management restructuring. That indicates dissatisfaction with their performance and leadership is rebuilding the team. That's usually a good sign. They're recognizing and fixing a problem. If, however, there's extensive change, like changing CEOs every couple years, take that as a sign of deep and perhaps systemic issues inside the company. Invest your money elsewhere. To repeat, management restructuring may not be a sign of trouble. It may indicate they're just replacing a few weak performers, being proactive, so to speak. Sometimes it just indicates the business has outgrown the skills of certain existing managers and has opted to replace them with people that bring new or different skills that leadership feels will strengthen the company to address new challenges. The auto industry has seen a lot of management restructuring. Back in the last 1970s, the Chrysler Corporation was on the brink of bankruptcy. The board brought in Lee Iacocca, a powerful inventor and innovator from the Ford Motor Company. He overhauled the entire management team and Chrysler's product line. It led to a complete turnaround of Chrysler, and it ensured in its stature in the industry. More recently, the entire General Motors management team was restructured, which is yielding a turnaround in what was a floundering company that had lost its way. So management restructuring can indeed be a positive sign that a company is bringing in new skills and a fresh outlook to steer its fate to a renewed growth and profitability. At times, companies merge with other companies, and this leads to a change in management team that now represents a combination of managers from both companies. This can be good or not so good. You are not in a position to assess how well they will work together as a team, but you can make value judgments about their background and track record as managers. Just bear in mind the new company may face different challenges than the pre-merger companies, and so you'll be making your own value judgments of the new team's background and skill sets to meet the challenges of the new merged company. Let's move on from management to the other big factors to consider when analyzing a company's intangible factors, and that is the business itself. What does the company do? Is it a manufacturer, a retailer, a service provider, a mining company? What does it do? Your goal is making your personal assessment of how well the company is doing relative to companies with whom it competes. How well is its product or service regarded among its customers? And how well do the management articulate a future vision that seems insightful for their industry? These are all subjective factors, although you can get some insight by comparing their past performance with other companies in their industry group. Understand what the company does and how it makes money. If you are unsure what the company does or do not understand their product, service, or industry, then move on to another investment. Don't worry about it. You want to put your money into companies with whom you relate and whose business makes sense to you. You want to put your investment monies in companies that you can feel comfortable about what they do and how well they do it. Never invest blindly. This is especially true of some of the more technical industries, such as the .com world. You do not have to fully comprehend the technical intricacies of a business, but you do want to have a fundamental grasp and appreciation of what they do and how they make money on it. Absent of that, how can you intelligently make a judgment about the quality of what they do and why it's successful? Warren Buffett used to say that he didn't invest in .com business because he just didn't understand them. He would say that he was happier investing in boring old businesses like insurance and railroads. He understood those businesses and how they made money. Mr. Buffett felt he could assess their intangibles in addition to the number crunching analytics. So buy what you understand. You may miss some interesting opportunities, but you will also dodge some bullets. We've talked about the importance of understanding the essence of a company's business and its product or service. It is also important for you to have a sense of the industry in which it competes and the growth potential of that industry as a whole. You may have heard the phrase, "a rising tide lifts all ships." The lesson there is that a so-so company in a booming industry can provide a good return, while a company in a floundering industry will struggle to grow at all because the industry in which it competes is decaying. You want to find an industry group that is growing and has a healthy prospects for the future. Quantitative analysis can provide insight into the growth trends within that industry, but as in other areas, common sense will serve you well in assessing the growth prospects for the industry overall. Be a reader. Read business magazines and trade journals that discuss the industry and innovations that are happening there. These sources will also give you insights into whether demand is growing, any threats facing the industry, and what companies within that industry seem to be best positioned to seize the opportunities. The company you're researching may or may not be among them, and that's okay. As you research the industry, you will gain insight into whether overall industry demand is growing. That is the pie getting larger, or are the companies in this industry just fighting to get a larger piece of a shrinking pie? That is important to know. Market share is important, but it's also essential to understand how the market is doing overall. That provides you a basis of understanding how to assess the company's growth and development strategy as well as its future prospects. Market share is vitally important. Generally speaking, a large share is inherently valuable. It provides economies for a sale, and it typically has a momentum of customer acceptance that is easier to sustain profitability. And it also is a barrier to entry for other companies that seek to enter the industry or gain a market share. With large market share comes a variety of inherent advantages, especially in industries that require large investment in people, distribution channels, technology, and equipment. These investment advantages provide the industry leader a great advantage over newcomers. A successful brand reflects years of product development and refinement, marketing, and evolved customer relationships. As consumers, we all recognize the value that has been built for major brands such as Pepsi, Coca-Cola, Tide Detergent, Nike, Cadillac, Gillette, TD Ameritrade, etc. These are all very successfully branded businesses managed by major corporations. Some of the companies like General Motors and Procter & Gamble have several brand businesses. They each have their own managers and customer base. By having a variety or portfolio of brands, they diversify their overall risk, enabling them to sustain overall success, even if one or two brands experience difficulty and underdeliver their brand sales and profit goals. That is a good lesson for you. Diversify your risk with a portfolio of investments. Good companies and good investors do not put all their eggs in one basket. Apply that also to your stock picking. Do not invest in a company that is branded around one product or person. It just creates risk that is better if diversified. Think of Steve Jobs and Martha Stewart. They were so synonymous with their corporations and their stock price tumbled in the wake of their departure. By now you should be convinced that investing also involves common sense and good judgment. Stock analysis is not just for the brainiacs and number crunchers. The subjective things that we can all relate to are just as important as studying income statements and balance sheets. Savvy investing is just that, keeping a clear head and being savvy. We also hope that you found this video helpful and expanded your understanding of investment analysis and comfort with the process. You too can invest knowledgeably. These videos are designed to help you build your investing knowledge and skills, develop and understand your personal investment goals, and develop a written plan in light of those goals. Use the knowledge you gain from these videos to help you choose investments carefully and prudently that serve your stated plan. Oh, and have fun doing it once again. Investing can provide a very satisfying way to control your own financial destiny. It is the ultimate interactive and instructive game. It can be a hobby or a lifelong passion. We urge you to enjoy the process.